up guys, it's Banu here from Andro.com. Here I have Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold 5, the newest foldable phone from Samsung. I've been using it for well over a month at this point. I've been using this as well as the Z Flip 5 that I have over here as well. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing my full review of the Z Fold 5. And in my next video, I'll be sharing with you my review of the Flip 5. Now, on paper, when you first look at these two devices, you might think that the Flip 5 actually has a lot more improvements, especially when you consider the updated new cover screen on this device. But when you actually take the Fold 5 to the hand, if you have used a foldable phone before, like if you have used one of the previous generations of the Fold series like I have, then you are really going to love the refinements of the Fold 5. I personally, when I got both of these phones to my hand, even I was more excited to use the Flip. But when I actually got the Fold 5 to my hand, from this new ice blue color to the performance of this device and the minor refinements that Samsung has overall done to the camera and the battery life and also the hinge, actually made me want to use the Fold 5 more. I was always on the Fold 5 side because this is a more productive device, but I also at the same time prefer the compactness and the portability of the Flip 5 as well. But I was at a point at one point where I wasn't sure which one I should be using, whether it was Flip or the Fold, but I chose productivity of the Fold. But this time with the refinements, I think on paper at least the Flip looks like a better improvement, but you have to actually use this to feel and enjoy the features that the Fold 5 actually brings. So welcome to my full review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the good, the bad and the ugly of the Fold 5. So if you guys are new to my channel, smash that subscribe button right now and let's go ahead and talk about the Fold 5 and my experience after using it for over a month. Like always, my reviews are based on my experience and I'm not going to be talking about any of the specs because I personally like to talk about my experience overall and share that with you guys in my reviews. Now, the first thing I want to mention about the Fold 5 is the refinement to the hinge mechanism that Samsung has really put in. Now, you can see, even though you can hear the sound like before, it's not, so loud. It's subtle sound, and also the hinge is not so easy to open up. The phone is not so easy to open up because the hinge mechanism is very strong, and you can just even place the phone at any angle, just like this. At any angle it would just stay. So for you to keep it on a surface, it's very easy. See, just like this, you can keep it on any angle. However, that being said, sometimes because you keep the glass side down, by mistake, when you're using it like this, if you keep it like, this, the glass side is going to be at the bottom. So because of that, sometimes depending on the surface, it could slip as well. So sometimes got into the habit of keeping it this way, but because the camera is, jumping out over here, I have got into the habit of keeping it this way, and it's more natural to me to just fold it down and keep it like this. And that's one of the main ways I actually use this phone, both this and the Flip, because I don't really need a tripod at all. I don't need to worry about any of that, regardless of where I am, whether I'm in the bed or whether I'm in the vehicle or wherever. I can just place it on the seat next to me, or wherever I am, I can just use it like this, and it's showing me all that information at a glance, and that is great. The improved hinge mechanism also means that the phone almost sits shut now. So because of that, you don't have a gap here anymore, so you don't have to worry about particles going inside the phone. While that being said, this phone is quite durable as well. I didn't have any issues with previous Samsung folding phones. I think the Fold 3 is the device that I used the longest out of all the foldable smartphones. I've been using every single Galaxy Fold smartphone. So coming into version 5 right now, I think this is a big improvement that they have here with the hinge mechanism and the overall build of the phone. It feels sturdy. I want to highlight this ice blue color. I've been using, I've seen a lot of blue color smartphones out there, but I think the Sierra Blue on the iPhone was one of my favorites. But now after that, I think this one also looks quite neat. The Icy Blue Fold 5, I think this one definitely makes a statement outside. A lot of people have been asking me, every time I walk out with this phone, most of the people who haven't seen a folding phone goes like, oh, what's that phone? Because, this one really stands out and makes a statement. It's not like, using an iPhone or whatever other phone that comes out. Even, comparing to like, a S23 Ultra or something like that, it still looks like a regular phone, but this doesn't. This looks thick, but at the same time, you can just make it very slim as well, and you can make use of this screen for productivity uses, which is what I have been using this phone for quite a lot. Whether it's watching YouTube videos on the side while browsing the web on the other, or just going through Excel sheets and all of that for my day-to-day work. So even if I don't have my laptop with me, I don't really care when I'm using the phone, because I know I can get all that work done through this. And if I want a mouse or a keyboard, I can hook that up to this as well. Or else, if I don't have any of that, I can hook this up to a TV and make that a computer. So that is also great with Samsung DeX. So I've actually used that quite a lot to browse the web and all of that. While I'm in my room, wirelessly I just connect to DeX and just open up the browser. I can use this phone as the trackpad as well for that, and that is great. I can use this phone as the keyboard and even just place it in front. Like let's say you have a TV here, you place the phone here, you get the trackpad and the keyboard both on the phone, and the display is wirelessly, you have connected the phone to the display wirelessly. So that kind of setup is also pretty cool, and also having that browse experience is great. And also I want to mention, now when I'm using an app, having all these apps at the bottom, like for an example, let's say I'm on WhatsApp. Now I can see the dock here at the bottom, right? Like having easy access to all these apps means that as a person who uses a Mac on a daily basis, having this kind of access to all my other apps also makes me more productive. It's easy for me to get access to things and use things more faster, and it's better overall. And also the camera experience, especially with this form factor, having the ability to get this front display to show what you can capture through the rear cameras, and also just using the phone this way, and you have the preview on this screen, and the cameras here are able to capture whatever you want. You can set a timer and grab amazing looking selfies with the main cameras at the back. And not only that, the ultra wide angle camera at the back can also be used for selfies, so you can gather more people around, and definitely one of the best selfie cameras you can use right now. And also if you want to get a group shot or whatever, you can just set the timer, keep the phone like this, and just walk away, and the phone will do the rest, because you don't have to worry about only capturing things in portrait mode like this, because this phone can be easily kept in landscape mode just like this. So those are some advantages that we had, but something not so satisfying on the Fold 5 for me personally was when I took a lot of video calls and all. The inside camera, the under display camera, while this is such a great innovation and something amazing to see, this is still the same camera that we had in the Fold 3 as well, and then the Fold 4 and now the Fold 5. Still the same quality forward. So for me personally, I didn't really want to use this for most of my video calls, because it wasn't so clear. Like the picture quality didn't look as good. So I opted into the front camera here when I wanted to take more video calls. When I do that, I lose out on the amazing experience of having this big screen. However, that's something that I wanted to mention to you guys. And talking about the performance, I actually didn't have any issues whatsoever in the time that I used it with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. This phone really, works really well regardless of what I want to use it for. And also it can handle your day-to-day activities like social media or whatever, but on top of that it can also handle, like I said before, Excel documents or Word documents or whatever you want to do on this phone, because this is a multitasking powerhouse, right? And also with the S Pen support, unfortunately I couldn't get my hands on an S Pen to use with this, but it works well now with my S23 and all of that. It's one of my main things, one of the main things that I use, and having that support on the fold is also always great. And I mentioned this I think in my previous videos about the fold series, that I love the placement of the fingerprint scanner here on the side, right? Most of the time I didn't have to use the face unlock mechanism because it's so natural. When I just take the phone to my hand and my finger automatically goes and stays there, sits there. So the phone automatically gets unlocked through that. So that is really easy for me to use in that way, and every time I want I can just go ahead and open into the big screen if I want. And Samsung has made some improvements to the big screen, like the internal screen is now stronger. So because of that, while it's still using the same material, Samsung claims that it's about 25% stronger or something like that. That's what I read. So it's great to have that extra durability on this phone. Talking about durability, actually, this phone is IPX8 certified, which means you can put it in water if you want. I've even made a short about that, so you can go to my channel and check that out. I've actually put this inside the pool, and not only that, I've washed this phone almost definitely more than 10 times at this point with fresh water, and wiped it with a clean towel, and nothing really happens because this phone is IPX8 certified. And as long as you don't drop it and if there's no damage on the phone, this phone should be able to handle it. So the point here being that this phone is quite durable. A lot of people stay away from this phone thinking that it's not durable, but let me tell you, after using this phone as well as all the other previous foldable smartphones, I've personally not had any durability concerns except for that first generation Fold that had those problems. Other than that, from there it has been quite good, especially since the Z Fold 3, which I use extensively, and with the added water resistance rating. However, the dust resistance rating is not listed on this phone. That's not really a concern for me because I don't really take it out to the beach or whatever. But and also to the dirt or mud, or I don't work in construction environments. However, in my day-to-day life, this one has been quite good. I've not used the case or tempered glass or whatever accessories whatsoever. This has been just like this in my pocket over the past 30 plus days, and still looks brand new. Let me show you some close-ups of this phone. Just have a look at this. Looks quite good. And also I want to mention, if you want to use apps like Photoshop or Canva or whatever to make edits, or if you want to use a video editor like InShot or something like that, this one is able to handle all of that as well. And also for social media, something that I didn't really like on this phone is the aspect ratio is different, right? Even when I'm watching a video, even on the full big screen, the aspect ratio on this is different. So you can't really fill the entire screen up with what you want, because you're gonna lose out in frames. You're gonna lose out some parts of the video that you're watching if you do that. So what I personally did was, without zooming in, I watched it with the black bars at the top and bottom. So that's something that I also want to mention. And when talking about the displays, the front display here, even though I'm used to it after using it other phones now, especially after using the S23 Ultra for a long time and enjoying that big front display, I think it's time for Samsung to do some refinements to the cover screen of the Fold 6 next year, because we have been using this form factor for a while now, and now after using all those other phones, it spoiled us to a level where the cover screen on this phone seems a bit too small. like even for social media activities and all of that. So if you can get the same aspect ratio and the same type of display that we have on other flagship phones at the front of this phone, like right now it's a bit too narrow for my liking at this point. Even though I didn't really feel that those days, now after using it for, after using it after some time, I used the Fold 5. So, all that time I was using the S23 Ultra. So coming from the S23 Ultra and also by using an iPhone on the side, so I have, I'm always switching my phones, and coming from one of those screens to this one was a bit difficult, to be honest, the front display here especially. But the main reason why I still kept coming back, and the reason why I adjusted, is because of this big screen on the inside, which makes this phone such a pleasure to use. And also another thing that I should mention is the price, right? Like, I mean, the price on the Fold is still quite high. This is one of the most premium smartphones that you can buy right now, but this one definitely makes a statement. Not so expensive when compared to iPhone prices here in Sri Lanka, at least, because you get 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage on this. So that is plenty. And also on top of that, you get the Samsung, the one-time display replacement if you pre-order the device and all of that. So I don't know whether you get that when you purchase the device afterwards. But last time I checked, the device was not available. I checked on Samsung the website and some authorized dealers' websites, but it said that this device was out of stock. So when they restock it, hopefully they will offer that display replacement, because one of the main reasons why I still recommend the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 to a lot of people who want a unique smartphone experience is because this one is actually quite a durable phone. I mean, like I said before, I used it for a long time and I haven't had any issues on this whatsoever. And let's say I break this, even then Samsung has the service center right here, so you can get it repaired, get it fixed. Now, the market right now is flooded with folding smartphones. A lot of competitors are putting out folding phones, but not in Sri Lanka. You have to import it from other countries. Like, a lot of competitors are making phones, but if you get one of those imported, one, you don't get the TRCSL approval for that phone, but even if you forget that, the repair, like how do you do a repair if it breaks? Like, will you be able to find the part here, or will you have to import the part? If so, who's going to repair it? Because these phones are very fragile, so not everyone can go ahead and do a repair on this type of a phone, because it's different to the normal phones that we have, right? You might need some special equipment and all of that for this kind of phone. So not only the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold model, but even if you take a competitor smartphone like a Huawei or a Motorola or something like that, you still need to be able to access those things for repair. It's not, because you have to always think about the future. When you're buying a phone, you're not just buying it to use for 6 months, right? You're using, like, some of these phones that I've had, like, I have like a 5+-year-old flagship phone that still works really well in 2023. So, that's the level of support and service that you want when you are using, when you're purchasing a phone at this price point. And even, if you drop your phone and break the display or something like that, accidents could happen, right? So if that happens, how are you going to get this phone repaired? So that's where Samsung stands out, and that's one of the main reasons why I still recommend Samsung smartphones for anyone who wants a folding smartphone experience right here in Sri Lanka. And another problem that I had with the Fold 5 is the lack of support for apps. Now with the Fold 3 and all of that, back in the day, like it was still a new concept. So I always look at it like, they need more time to adapt. But right now it's been 2 years since the Fold 3 came out, and still the Fold 5 doesn't really have support for all the apps. Some apps still don't work really well, like apps like Instagram and all of that are not properly optimized. Like if I go ahead and open up Instagram right now, it's just a stretched out version. This is where Google's software optimization needs to come in. They need to focus not only on smartphones, but like they said at Google I/O this year, they need to optimize their apps in a way that it will work in any screen. Now even Google has their own foldable smartphone, right? So these apps have to properly be optimized that is one of the main ways that we can get more use out of this phone. Like for an example, this happens with Samsung's apps. Like for an example, if you go ahead and open up the camera, the view that I see on the front display is not the same thing when I go ahead and unfold this phone. On the side, you see the preview of what you capture. So it's like a professional environment. You feel like you're using this added screen on this phone and you're putting it to better use. So that is one of the main reasons why the Fold 5 makes sense. So we need to get all of these other applications also optimized. One by one has to be optimized for folding these foldable screens, because this one is definitely an exciting phone, and it was a pleasure to use the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 in the time that I used this phone over a month at this point. Now let me share with you some camera samples that I shot with the Fold 5, because the camera experience on the Fold has been quite good. Not only does it have good zoom levels, but also the pictures are quite sharp and clear. I won't say that the camera quality is on par with the S23 Ultra, but this is an acceptable flagship camera, and I'm happy with this. Definitely, I felt like the camera on this, the Fold 5, is better than the Flip 5 in my usage and the testing. So these are some of the camera samples that I shot in the time that I used this phone. So you can check it out and let me know what you guys think about the camera quality of the Fold 5 down below in the comment section. While you're at it, if you're new to my channel, this would be the best time to go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more awesome tech videos just like this in the future. So in summary, I've spoken a lot of positives as well as negatives about the Fold 5, right? But all of that being said, this is one of the most innovative and eye-catching smartphones you can buy right now in 2023. And if you have the budget to purchase this phone, I would strongly recommend the Fold 5 for you if you're looking for a unique smartphone experience. However, if you want an experience that is more consistent, then I think the S23 Ultra or any other flagship smartphone would be good, but it's not so exciting as the Fold 5. If it was my money that I had to put to purchase a new phone, and if this was in my budget category, definitely this is the phone that I would be purchasing, because this one is not just a phone but a tablet at the same time, and a productivity powerhouse, even a computer grip that you can connect to a display wirelessly and just put it in your pocket and walk around. And camera's great. Overall, the package is strong enough for me to recommend the Galaxy Z Fold 5 for anyone who's looking for an exciting smartphone experience in Sri Lanka. So with that guys, we come to the end of my review of the Fold 5, but stay tuned. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be talking about the Flip 5 in my next video, so definitely go ahead and check that out as well. And if you're new to my channel, go ahead and smash that like button, hit on that subscribe button, share this video with your friends. Until I see you guys in my next video, this is Banu signing out.